Good evening, my name's Alex Campbell.
And I'm Mark Palmer.
I got a beer on your leg.
Yeah, it's like dark and stouty and shit.
It is dark and sad. I was gonna say that was like the perfect pop.
Yeah, like.
But it got all over you.
Yeah, you got my pants there too. Fucking hell, it was like, it wasn't like beer, it was like Coke or some shit.
It's like molasses. It's like a molasses and a Guinness poured into a big tub and mixed around. It's a double stout. Or is it an extra stout? Best extra stout.
Same shit, right?
It's 1.9 standard drinks.
Nice. These are fucking Mexico.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. So, we open up with a delightful scene with the Mando and Baby Yoda trying to fix wiring on the ship.
Yeah.
They seem to be making Baby Yoda older than he was.
We don't know how old he was. He never spoke in the first season.
I know, but from what we've seen up until this point, we've never seen him like this level of cognition, like
to be fair,
wiring, failing.
No,
but yes, wiring.
I think to be fair though, they wouldn't let him do anything. He's always confined to that little ball. He wasn't allowed to touch anything.
His ball's gone now.
Exactly. He's starting to, I guess, trust him to do stuff.
Yeah, because like he's either a baby or he's an electrician.
Okay, well he fucked that up. That was a stupid idea from the get-go. I'm watching him like, you're a fucking...
Yeah, like what has he done up until this point? Anything like that? And now Mandy's expecting him to be able to do this. I mean, it was a cute scene.
It was adorable. But
so yeah...
He's becoming too risky because he could have fried himself just then, easily.
Yeah.
You know, like... yeah, we'll talk about other reasons for that later too, though.
But yeah, so I feel like they're trying to make him older. He goes to fucking school in this episode.
Yeah, but he's just more like babysitting.
Yeah, but I mean...
And at that school too, that's what I was going to say. They're being too, not lenient is not the right word, careless. He's still a very hunted fucking thing.
Yeah, and they left him at a school.
Literally, they just left him in the middle of fucking something. Oh, you've gotten a bit better now. Still a fucking deadbeat.
Yeah, the reasons to like go on an adventure and leave Baby Yoda behind.
Well, now that there's on his ball, he has to carry him everywhere.
yeah. So they have to keep on coming up with reasons. So I think some work better than others, and this is maybe the weakest so far.
But it was adorable.
Well, leave him at school. It was adorable. The whole fucking Force macaroon sequence. It was adorable. And he does like, make human baby sounds way more often now.
I told you, didn't I? Like legit.
But you've ruined the Mandalorian for Mark.
He's still adorable regardless.
He is, but it's just
see it, don't you?
It's like when the Next Generation movies, because by the time they rocked around, Worf was already on Deep Space Nine, and the Plinker reviews go into like the fact that as they keep on rolling along, each one gets lazier and lazier about why Worf's there. And the last one doesn't even mention it; just Worf's on the Enterprise. And I feel like that's happening with Baby Yoda, and finding an excuse to get him out of the way while they go on fun adventure. It's like, well, we'll leave him at a school.
Yeah, leave him with frog people.
Yeah,
at a school. They have to though. Like
he can't come on this adventure.
Awesome Mandalorian shit like that.
Shot and die. Yeah, so they go back to Navarro. Carl Weathers directed this episode, who plays Grief Karga. I just recently rewatched all the Rocky movies, and he plays Apollo Creed, Rocky's main
antagonist.
Yeah.
In the first movie anyway.
Yeah, and then they become friends and becomes his trainer later on. And then Creed is... And then they have a really gay scene running in like slow motion waves together and like cut off shirts and like tiny short shorts. And yeah, Creed is Rocky training Apollo's son. So yeah, I enjoy the actor now because I know him way better.
Yeah, he's in Predator, right, as well?
He is in Predator.
I recognise him from
And he's from Happy Gilmore, he's the wooden hand guy.
That's not one of the ones I remember him for.
Oh, I do.
Work with me now. It's all in the head. Yeah, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips.
Get off of me!
Hey, just easing the tension, baby.
But now that you mentioned, I can't not see it.
Yeah.
I don't. Play school guy in episode 2.
Yeah. Well, that was only for Australians, though. No one else realised he was from Play School. Because we have Australian Play School, and Boba Fett was on Australian Play School, then he was in Star Wars, and my little fucking...
It wasn't Boba Fett, was it? It was the other
Jango
guy.
Fett.
No, it wasn't even. It was just the fucking...
Oh,
security guy.
yeah. Yeah.
the guy playing Jango Fett was in a fucking, what was it, Apocalypse Now, whatever it was, not Apocalypse Now, fucking,
Once for Warriors.
Once for Warriors.
Where's my eggs, bitch? No, that is right. It was the eye patch security guard guy who was on Australian Play School.
I'm Captain Typho of Her Majesty's Security Service. Queen Jamila has been informed of your assignment. I am grateful you're here, Master Kenobi. The situation is more dangerous than the Senator will admit. What game do crocodiles play?
I don't know, Jay. What game do crocodiles play?
Stop! Bye-bye.
Bye.
My mate, an old head chef, said back in New Zealand though that Jango Fett actor was on some shitty soap opera down there.
Right, true.
Yeah.
I just picture him as badass now.
He is. He's all scarred up from the Sarlacc pit. So Carl Weathers directed this episode. He plays Grief Karga. And through watching those making of documentaries, The Gallery or whatever the fuck they're called, it's got a dumb name. It should just be like Making of the Mandalorian. That sounds way better. I get the impression that like you could kind of waltz in and everybody is so fucking good at their job and like the system is just set up so well that you could just kind of rock up and it would direct itself. I'm not saying that Carl Weathers is necessarily like a bad action director, but I just get the impression from on the set that like everything's already worked out. You know, some movies you rock up and you as the director need to figure out how to make the scene work.
Yeah.
But this shit's been fucking designed months ago. They've done previs, they've done all like the shots. Like they know exactly, you don't have to figure anything out. You just kind of rock up and you get the director's credit and they do their thing. I suppose you can have artistic merit somewhere in that.
I feel like it'd be a lot harder to direct an episode you're starring in. Like,
which he did for some reason.
And he's a prominent role.
I know in Next Gen, whenever there's several members of the cast directed episodes in that, most notably Jonathan Frakes, and they'd always kind of give Frakes episodes where he played a minor role so he could direct it. So I'm not saying that I necessarily think Carl Weathers is a bad director. I never knew of him directing that, and all of a sudden he's directing this really quick pace.
Like, hey, do you want to direct an episode, sort of thing?
No, he actually said, let me direct an episode in season 2. And they said, okay. And they let him.
And it was a good episode.
Yeah. So I like that.
There's no bad episodes, but it's a good episode.
That's fair.
I just wanted to say, what's her name? Cara June. Fucking buff, man. I swear she's buff about the first season.
She's thick, boy. She's thick. She's played by Gina Carano, who was a UFC fighter back in the day.
Yeah.
So you see her do a bunch of her own like headlocks, like she chokes the guy out in this episode.
Fucking out quick.
Yeah, and just because of the fact that she does have this background as a fighter and she is so fucking thick, you believe it.
Yeah, like I can't remember she ran in that random stormtrooper and jumped into the air and booted him and shit. And it was just like it was legitimately her doing it.
Yeah. She
like,
can do like most of her fighting stunts, which is fucking great.
It's fucking awesome. It just feels so much more legit.
Yeah, and I like her as a character.
Yeah, me too.
And same with Grief Karga, old Carl Weathers' character. What did you think about Blue Fish Man? Did you think that he A, added to the plot, or B, took away from the plot?
He was legitimately just comedic.
He was a comedic relief.
And I didn't hate it, so I guess it worked. I didn't care. He could have been there, he could have not been there, but like...
It's a common recurrence in Doctor Who when they would make a character like that it would just be so fucking irritating and you'd hate them.
Yeah.
And you'd also hate the narrative and the confusing
plot.
plot and you wouldn't know what's going on.
The fact that he was like from like the first episode though.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's just like, you remember this guy and have a little bit of a history. So a lot of the times those characters, those type of characters in Doctor Who, the comic relief, I fucking hate them. But I didn't mind him. I don't think it was necessary.
Definitely not.
If you take him out, I mean...
It would have been less funny.
It would have been less funny, but it would have been less good.
Fuck no, it would have been fine.
I believe you two have met.
I'm surprised to see you here.
So, Cara Dune gets this pet weasel in this episode?
Yeah, I honestly thought she was going to take it with her, eh?
Well, she had it at the end, didn't she? At some point, the weasel came up?
Did she? I didn't notice that.
Maybe. No, I think
she just left it
she
there.
flicked a little bit of food to it right at the end.
Yeah, but...
After her emotional moment.
Right, I didn't notice that.
I believe that happened. Yeah, and then if you watch all the way through the end credits and all those beautiful design photos of the production, you see a frame of him breathing fire.
Yeah, on the tusk cuts. I don't know what they call.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name. Yeah. Fucking when they're fighting though, like that one at the end, he got up to do his like, it's like, could you be like, just, is it possible for you to not make ridiculous noises?
No, he needs to.
You're trying to be sneaky now, and she can just hear you.
Yeah. They're just like they're like pugs. They just struggle to breathe.
Yeah. They fucking looked cool though. They did such a good job.
Yeah, they looked really dark and scary and odd and yeah. And yeah, so I mean, these are just design pictures, but maybe somewhere at some point there's a deleted scene or
it's supposed to breathe fire.
Yeah, whether it made it to film or whether it didn't, or whether it was just the designers just like, yeah, that doesn't make as much sense.
Maybe his idea was for it to breathe fire, and they're like, it's not fucking breathing fire.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you on about?
Yeah, maybe yeah, for whatever reason, budgetary, time, although they don't really need to worry about time on Disney Plus, it's whatever the fuck they want. For some reason it got cut, but man, that
I thought
weasel was breathing
it's more of
fire.
a helpless animal at that point, instead of being something that can breathe fire.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I guess with the breathing fire, they'd have to add a whole lot more to it if she does have it as a pet later down the track.
That might be a bit
Just
much.
using it as breathing fire on every
A
cat.
fire-breathing weasel to follow Cara.
I mean, I'd be okay with it.
I mean, they haven't done wrong so far. So, I mean, I liked how it was so obviously like a really bad puppet too. We talked about that in an episode previous, just how I like the clumsy, like, dumb puppets so much better than fucking CGI.
But they still look amazing compared to how they used to.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they've CGI'd their faces up and shit.
There was a scene where Baby Yoda eats a macaroon, where I was up really close to the TV, I could tell his lips were CGI.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll leave up really close to the screen.
Yeah, I was doing my notes. Up really close.
That was a cute scene though, where he's like, "Oh, you want to give one to me?" No, I don't think so. All right, well, fuck
Uses
you.
the Force.
And
I like that they haven't used the Force to save the day again. Right?
It goes to show, yeah, so do I. But it goes to show how Baby Yoda's brain works. He's like, okay, you said that I can't have that, but that's because it's in your possession. If I can get this, it's mine.
He's low on morals. He's eating frog eggs. He's choking bitches.
He's a little kid, like
yeah, that's fair. He's a
little
little
kids
kid.
they just think of themselves.
Yeah, you have to teach him about empathy and sharing and not smacking another kid in the head with a rock.
Yeah, and so he's just like, yeah, they're mine now. He still had him later in the episode.
He did it and he threw off on himself.
Yeah.
It should be too much and I should hate it, but I don't.
It's adorable.
Yeah. So yeah, I think at this point in time, I mean, alright, we'll do a positive first and then we'll do a negative.
Are you talking about the whole episode as a whole? Because I still have more stuff to talk about in the episode.
No, we're not wrapping up.
Oh, what do you want? Which part are you talking
I'll let you know. Now.
about? Okay. You just kind of ask positive, negative, like I don't know which part you're talking about, I can't tell you.
So there are a lot of fucking amazing action sequences in this episode.
Yeah.
The whole speeder, the TIE fighter chase sequence was fucking amazing. Like the editing, the pacing, the music, the tension, the suspense, the shots, the acting, like it's all fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I really love this composer, right? There's so many shows, and I've said this every fucking episode. The composer is amazing, but there were these moments where like he just had like I guess like just a sample of like a sound, and he was just getting these two things like flicking them in between the two speakers really quick to like cause tension, like. It's just like it's really cool and original, and just every episode, I'm just like that is a better score than The Expanse, than Doctor Who, than most fucking pieces of modern media.
You really should like get his name and give him a credit out.
His name is Ludwig, which is big shoes to fill. Ludwig van Beethoven, and then his last name has like little dots and
What are the odds
Norwegian
his name
things.
would be like that and he'd be a musician?
I don't know, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Ludwig, Garrison. There's little dots.
Mr. Garrison.
Mr. Garrison.
We can just call him Mr. Garrison if we need to reference him from now on.
That's fair. No, I feel like he deserves more credit than that, 'cause that's kind of negative.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Ludwig.
Ludwig. Okay.
Ludwig is...
Hedwig.
Ludwig is a great composer, Mark.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He fucking nails it. But
Yeah.
I do feel like the people who edit the actual, like he doesn't play the music to the scene. Like, he plays the scene, and then the people who edit the show put it in there. And I feel like a big part of it is them putting it at the right place as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for this season, because of quarantine, he said that he just recorded like 8 fucking big songs for them to cut in. He was talking about it. He was like, it's such a long. Normally I do a movie like 2 hours, but this was like 16 hours. So much.
Right.
Yeah. Oh no, I guess not. I guess like 8 hours, 7 hours.
Either way, I'm fucking long.
It's a long movie. Yeah. So the action scenes are fucking amazing. They're always amazing. But I mean, at this point in time, the stormtroopers carry no attention or suspense.
No.
Last episode we ran through them, which is fair enough because they were Mandalorians. But this
They had
episode,
a bit more trouble this episode. Plus, I feel like those. I don't mean to disrespect Mando, but those Mandalorians are way fucking better than he is, eh?
oh, they are.
They are
One of the
fucking
elements that I've loved from him from the beginning, which is quite similar to Indy, is that they designed Indiana Jones to always be 10% out of his level of ability. So if you watch Indy, he's always like.
No,
he gets it done, but he struggles.
He's still good. He's still very good at what he does. But yeah, he fucking.
But yeah, it's not
struggles.
easy for Mandy.
No.
Everything he does is a constant struggle.
Do you think that's a reference to like George Lucas early, like Indiana Jones and shit?
Perhaps,
Possible.
maybe. Perhaps. That was like a key element of Indy where like Lucas and Spielberg sat down and like, this is an element of the character that we had in mind while writing the scenes. And Mandy seems to have that.
Yeah.
I remember initially in like episode 2 when he crawled onto the sand crawler and just got fucked up and fell. I'm like, that is amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
We used to see like the Doctor just be like the best thing ever. There was a particular Doctor in a particular era of the show where like he was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, this is so uncompelling.
This is pus.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I get it. He's good. I can't relate to that.
Yeah, I wanted him to struggle. Like, he's good at what he does, but he still fucking runs into issues, which is
Yeah.
great, you know? It's fucking good. But
Yeah, so the stormtroopers carry no tension or suspense anymore.
I feel like they're
Everyone just runs through them so fucking easy. You never think that any character is going to get killed by a stormtrooper in any battle.
No, well, they notoriously.
They've made several jokes about it in the show at this point in time.
Well, there's no point even hiding it. It's become a meme. Like,
It is, yeah, it's like a piece of their culture.
I feel like there was this one scene where they snuck past these random 2-1s just walking along. And in my mind at the time, I was just like, oh my god, just fucking kill them. I'm sorry, but if that was me, I would kill them and get them out of the way so they couldn't do anything to fuck me over later.
I mean, yeah.
You're there to put this base into the lava.
Yeah.
Kill every cunt you see.
And then you have the ability to kill like 8 stormtroopers easy.
Although they weren't even looking, they just doing psh, psh.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's an unnecessary risk, but I felt like if that was me, I wouldn't want to take any risks.
That's fair.
One over there. All right, we'll check it out.
So yeah, there's a scene where they're in the base. They've just fucking done the lava thing, so there's a great ticking clock element, and they come across this message.
Wait, can I go back to when they noticed that? Sorry,
You may.
No, actually, I'll talk about it when they actually start using it. Go on.
Okay, I wrote a few things down.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I will forgive you this once.
It's just, you know, that black market. How he talks about, oh, this how many hours just get for black market? That thing.
I don't know. Alright. The body rejected the blood. They talk about the midichlorian count.
Oh, when they found the sample.
Yeah,
They
transfusion.
said count. Did they say midichlorian? Because it seemed like they tried to use a shorter word.
They said M count.
M count. Okay.
M count.
So I was like,
The M
how-
count was higher than any other. I'm like, yeah, they just don't want to say midichlorians.
Yeah,
But that's totally the
but I
midichlorians.
love the fact that they're bringing that back though.
They are, yeah.
If part of canon, embrace it. Just try and yeah, and they've done
The
it.
prequels were shit, but the lore and mythology is still interesting, so why not bring it
The
in?
midichlorians is never a good choice, but it's there would be a way to measure your force sensitivity. You know what I mean?
There would be. It was just, not realizing what
It wasn't
Star Wars
delivered well.
at it is.
Yeah.
Star Wars is space fantasy, not fucking sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's science fantasy, not science fiction. So when Lucas tries to describe it, it's like, stop.
Yeah.
It's magic!
Yeah.
It's magic!
Okay. But anyway, so this sample thing, it was clearly humanoid. It wasn't like they were trying to clone a little baby Yoda.
Yeah, the thing. This is what I hope. Please, God, don't let this tie into The Rise of Skywalker. at all. Like, I don't want this to be about
them trying to bring Palpatine back.
I know a bunch of people have already been like, this is talking about cloning and Snoke and Palpatine.
It's talking about cloning. It's talking about cloning Force sensitivity, which is not a new idea. It was filled in the Legends continuity, so it's not like this is a big thing. And they're following the same problems that in Legends there was always an issue with Force sensitivity. You can clone a Jedi, but the clone wouldn't be Force sensitive. Something would go fucked up, and it was very rare to be able to come across a Force sensitive clone. Which is why I call bullshit whenever anyone says Baby Yoda is a fucking clone of Yoda. Like,
that's dumb.
Off.
I hope it's his own person, he's not just Yoda.
Yeah, he's just one of fucking Yoda's species. We know because of Yaddle that that it can actually be another species, another part of the species. It's not just Yoda.
Yeah, there are other, whatever Yoda's called. He doesn't have a species, that's one of the things about it.
They're called Yoda species.
The Yoda race. Yeah, so basically we get a bunch of information about what the fuck is going on, which we kind of already knew.
We figured.
Yeah, they're taking Baby Yoda and they're getting his blood and they're trying to clone or create a new being using his DNA that's highly Force sensitive, and they're not able to do it.
It sounds horrible, but I can totally see it being a thing to try and bring Palpatine back, because, you know...
That makes sense with the narrative.
They're trying to bring back the Empire, and what's the best way to bring back the Empire? The guy who created the fucking Empire.
And that fits in with what happens. All I'm saying is that the rise of Skywalker was a fucking dumpster fire.
It doesn't need...
And I don't want this to be attached.
It doesn't need to connect to the rise of Skywalker, but it can connect to the Empire.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point. Just let this be just the Mandalorian story. It doesn't have to tie into the fucking sequels. That's 30 years later. This is 6 years.
Yeah. And those movies were terrible.
I feel like they're not connected.
I have several Rise of Skywalker things to talk about, actually. I feel like the sets, because on the first season of Gallery they talk about being a television show, and there's a scene, you know, where Dave Filoni and the other two directors are in the TIE fighters and they attack this base. The TIE fighter they actually used was...
the X-Wing?
Yeah, the X-Wing. Jesus Christ, I'm so drunk.
No,
I'm glad you interrupted me. That was
I was just like, TIE fighters, man, no.
That was a... Jesus, what am I doing? Drunk too many beers.
Wait.
The X-Wings, yeah, they were part of the exhibit for whatever, you know, Disney World's fucking Star Wars thing that they have.
Yeah.
And the only way they were able to get them was like through transit as it was getting shipped. So I feel like, in the spirit of a television show and how they inherit stuff from the movies, that these sets are like redressed sets from the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
They looked to me more like the shape of that era of the whatever the fuck it was called. What was it called? It wasn't the Empire anymore.
What are you talking about in this episode specifically?
All the scenes when they're in that base and they're running around the corridors.
Yeah.
The corridors look like the corridors from the Rise of Skywalker.
I feel like you've watched the episode twice.
I watched it 3 times.
3 times?
And 3 times. It came out like 10 hours ago.
I wasn't paying enough attention to the... Because I only watched it just now before this review.
That's fair.
So I don't feel like I paid enough attention to that.
I'm getting pretty fucking specific here. But what I'm saying is...
Go on, I'm listening still. I'm still interested.
I feel like the sets are redressed sets that they possibly inherited from the Rise of Skywalker. I might be wrong.
No, but why not? That's cool. I can't imagine why they wouldn't.
It's a TV show. I like the jankiness of next gen.
It's a TV show that came out like straight after the Rise of Skywalker, or straight before.
Yeah, and one of the things that is charming about TOS or TNG is the janky low budgetness.
Yeah,
and we've all seen fucking The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. There's massive budgets and it doesn't mean anything.
No. I mean, it looks pretty high budget for a fucking TV series though.
It looks amazing. The Razor Crest. It's flying around and it's destroying these TIE fighters, and it's such a little simple battle, but the way they execute it, I'm so there. It's so much more engaging than that last scene in The Rise of Skywalker when all those ships come in.
Yeah.
If you A and B these scenes, like one is like the biggest, epicest, most fucking intense moment of all time with all these ships.
With 3 total ships, right?
Yeah. The Mandalorian one
intense with 3 ships.
It's so small. It's so tiny. but the way it's shot and the angles and how it works, and I'm actually emotionally invested in the character.
It's not just the shitbox you saw at the start of the episode. It's brand spanking.
Yeah. So the reason I say it makes no fucking sense is because, like, what were they going, half an hour?
I know. I was thinking that too. Like,
so was I. I was like,
I would take weeks to repair.
Yeah, months even. Yeah. So yeah, it makes no sense, but it's fucking brilliant, and I love it. And like, you A and B it with that scene from The Rise of Skywalker. It's supposed to be emotionally like impactful, and like Lando rocks up and it's like, haha, with Chewbacca. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Chewbacca, you're supposed to be dead, cunt.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I like Lando, but I got nothing from him.
No,
like I'm so uninvested in everything that's happening here. And with this, smaller scale,
completely invested.
Characters I love, just done way better, and I'm there. I care. I'm involved again.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it was pretty. It was amazing. Like, just him just taking on one of the TIE fighters just got away scot-free, and he just chased one of them down.
He just like flew up, shot one, did something, dropped and shot another one. But the way
I loved the way he like turned off his engines and like it flipped him around.
Where they had the camera in relation to the ships was like really exciting, and like it was a well like filmed action sequence, and all the shots and angles like. They really
filmed, but it was CGI.
It was all CGI, but you know, it's been plotted out and designed before any of these moments. And the way the ship's in relation to the lens, the theoretical lens, is so much more exciting than The Rise of Skywalker, which is big wide shots.
And the whole Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, big wide shots of a million ships. I don't care about anything. I'm just like, is this over? What were you going to talk about, Mark?
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So that thing, what would you call it? I guess it would be a car or some kind of tank. Really, I suppose.
Oh, do you know what that was? Kenner, back in the 80s, made like a troop carrier ship that was a toy. So this thing's first ever appearance was as a toy. And then Filoni and Favreau have taken that toy and said, hey, that's really cool. Let's interject that into the show and make that a vehicle. So it's a troop carrier. And it originally appeared, its first ever appearance as a Kenner toy in the early 80s.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, I wasn't actually going to talk about that ship. I was just saying when I saw that, so sparked this thought.
Well, there's a happy tangent.
That's cool though, that is cool. But no, what I thought when I read it is like, oh man, this is the Mandalorian, right? I'm gonna get crazy into some fucking legends.
That's fine.
Here, so
that's fine.
Just so you know, you got a fucking
I
speech
just cracked
coming.
a new beer.
You got a speech coming. You guys ready? I don't know if people like this, but
I just did a whole behind the scenes thing about a ship being a toy.
Okay, so I'm hoping it's pretty much impossible, but in Knights of the Old Republic, right, when the Mandalorians are an actual, I guess they're an actual thing now, but ancient Mandalorians 4,000 years before.
Yeah.
When they were trying to take over the Republic, they used a ship called the Basilisk War Droid. I'm not sure. I think it was a droid because it was a droid as well. But it's like a ship which they used to use to plummet into the atmosphere of planets when they were trying to take over the planet, and it was so heavily armored that the defenses couldn't do shit against it. It would just plummet down, firing until it just crash land and make a massive crater, and the Mandalorians would just come out of it and fuck shit up.
Yeah, wow.
And when I saw that heavily armored thing, I just straight up thought, oh man, it'd be awesome if they brought the Basilisk War Droids back in.
That sounds really cool as a concept, actually.
Yeah, because like, what are you supposed to do? Okay, cool. We're defending against Mandalorians. Ha ha ha. They're in space. We're okay. And then all of a sudden they just launch their Basilisk War Droids, which you cannot defend against.
Yeah.
Until they've
it's like a kamikaze type thing. Do the people inside have died?
It remains intact.
Yeah, wow.
Like it just legitimately like makes a massive crater, and they fucking
It's
just
got
get
a huge
out.
mass. It's like the,
Yeah,
that's
you literally
interesting.
go inside one because you need to go onto a planet that's currently in a war zone. So you go at that point. This is 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire.
Yeah.
It was the last one.
Yeah.
So it was prominently used in the Mandalorian Wars, which is before Revan.
Yeah.
So well, it wasn't before Revan. Revan was fighting against them, but. Yeah, and then you use it to get down into this battlefield. Like, obviously, you can't do shit against it. You just bang.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I saw that, I was like, oh man, well, this is the Mandalorian. It'd be so cool if they could bring it back. But
That was just a troop carrier. Either way,
that's what I thought of. And I was
Yeah.
just like, nah.
I feel like we've given that ship a good detailed analysis.
It wasn't a basilisk though.
It was a Kenner toy from the early 80s.
If you're editing this on, you feel like it, you could totally just Google what a fucking basilisk war droid looks like and just throw in a picture of it.
No,
Because they look pretty
refuse.
cool. Oh fuck you, find it. Whatever, cunt.
Here it is. So something we could quickly touch on and then move on. Wilhelm scream hasn't been used in The Mandalorian.
But it was when the TIE fighter got hit, right?
I don't know.
I swear that was a Wilhelm scream.
Possibly. There was a scene
Did you hear it too though?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, there was a scene where the stormtrooper gets shot and he falls in the lava. And that would have been like the perfect moment, but it wasn't it at all. And it really struck me. I'm like, it's weird how often this show reverts to blatant fan service, but they haven't had the Wilhelm scream in it.
I feel like there was one point when a TIE fighter got hit. That one TIE fighter that got hit by the guy in the tank.
I'll cut it in right now.
It happened so suddenly, it may not have been, but I swear I heard the Wilhelm scream.
Well, we'll let the fans decide.
Oh, there was that moment in that battle too, where fucking the scout troop's like, let's go on the side, this will be a good idea, and the cunt gets like pressed up against the wall, and the scream
Yeah.
it captured so much of like he's regretting what he did.
Getting paid 80 grand a year to be a stormtrooper or a scout trooper. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking not on the ball tonight.
Scout trooper's just another regiment of stormtroopers.
That's fair, but I did fuck up the X-Wing TIE fighter thing.
Yeah, but we can try and forget that.
That was the slip of the tongue. I obviously know the difference, Mark. How dare you accuse me of this?
Well, I mean, not that you don't know the difference. We have done another review. We've been drinking for a while.
That's fair. That is
And
fair.
then we were drinking while watching The Mandalorian.
We've been drinking. We're Australian. People would assume that we're drunk. And their assumptions will be correct.
I mean, we're kind of known for it by now. Drinking's good, right, guys?
So, right at the end, there's this sneaky shot of this guy who earlier on had planted a tracker within the Razor
Oh,
Crest.
I knew it. As soon as I saw him do the I'm gonna do it. Huh? As soon as he did that in the start of the episode, I'm like, this cunt, he's gonna plant a fucking tracker.
Yeah.
Straight up, I'm like, it's gonna be a tracker.
Yeah, and then cut to the end and it turns out that he planted a tracker.
Planted a tracker, didn't see that coming.
There was a female Imperial officer. She walked up to Moff Gideon and was like, yo, Baby Yoda and the Mando are in tow. They're on their way. And Moff is like, well, let's get at them. Then we pan through, they look to me like dark phase troopers from the video games.
That's exactly, I had shadow troopers, but yes, the dark, that was exactly what I was thinking. The dark phase troopers, how they come in different stages. You get the little ones and the two, and then the triple ones in the Dark Knight, not Dark Knight, the Jedi Knight, like series. I'm like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my god, tell me. I thought Shadow, but Dark Phase is definitely the correct term. I was just like, please.
Yeah, because they've done a bunch of other stuff from the video games. And they weren't like the black troopers from Rogue One, whatever the fuck they were called.
No, they weren't.
They
were
look
the
different.
Shadow Troopers.
They were the Shadow Troopers.
It's just like Black Ops though.
Yeah.
These guys look like they're like genetically engineered.
Well, yeah, they've introduced the idea of cloning and stuff.
Dude, no, that's what they're fucking doing.
What are they doing, Mark?
With the cloning of Baby Yoda's DNA, they're trying to create better soldiers.
Force-sensitive soldiers.
And this could be like an offshoot of that program.
It could be, and they're coming for fucking Mandy.
Interesting. I prefer that than it being a Palpatine thing.
Oh, yeah, no Rise of Skywalker tie-ins, please. So yeah, the next episode is written and directed by Dave Filoni.
So the next episode's Ahsoka then?
Yeah, that's what we can glean from this.
I'm so excited for Ahsoka. Did you watch that video?
I did.
What do you think without really knowing Ahsoka?
Yeah, I get it. That storyline
kind of
works.
explained her story a lot more, didn't it? That's basically everything that's happened up until this point.
Yeah.
I haven't finished watching Rebels. There was a few scenes and I'm like, I don't know about what the fuck that is.
She fights Darth Vader and shit. She gets
I knew about that. That was intense, man.
I had to get that list off here because I did actually start to watch the Clone Wars and I started to watch the movie.
Don't.
And I got halfway through it. I'm like, Jesus, this has an hour to go. I don't know if I can do this. And then like I couldn't do it.
No.
And then like the first season was like 2 episodes.
Dude, the list
There's so many episodes. There's like 150 episodes.
Just listen to me. The list that I'm going to give you plays like 3 episodes in the first season.
Okay.
And then you go straight past that shit.
Yeah.
In fact, the first episode you watch in this list is episode 1, season 3.
That's hilarious.
Because it's an introduction into a bunch of the clone troopers, which are going to be important in the series, sort of thing. Like when they were going through their clone training, sort of thing, and they become, you know, a lot more. So it makes sense. But yeah, and then it scans like 2-3 episodes in season 1 and then moves forward. Skips like whole arcs and shit.
I just, for some reason, thought like, you know, the first season of Next Gen is bad.
No, it's a whole different level of bad. This is kid bad.
Yeah, it's a
This
kid's
is made
show.
for kids bad. That's a whole different plateau.
Yeah, well, I started watching the movie and I was reasonably high and I was kind of like,
again.
this is kind of, but like Ahsoka and Anakin like have their first interaction. I felt like maybe that was an important moment.
Maybe.
Then you like got halfway through it, I'm like, this has an hour to go.
I read the list, it's like, watch the movie, I'm like, nah.
An hour? We went and seen that at the cinemas.
And I'll never watch it again.
I just fucking the other night.
You tried to.
I watched half of it.
I'm not saying much, like, it's a movie, it's supposed to be watched out, it's that bad.
It's only an hour and like 20 maybe.
Yeah, it's the shortest movie of all time, and you still get to it.
I got like fucking...
It's garbage, man. It's fucking pus. And I can't believe it got a cinema spot.
It did. And now I can't watch the Clone Wars now because it was terrible.
No, I'll give you the list.
Alright.
Like, don't watch it then. That doesn't... But I did watch a... actually did watch a theory about... George Lucas has apparently revealed more about what his sequel trilogy would have been.
Yeah.
Which ties into Clone Wars quite well. Which makes sense because he started Clone Wars, right?
This is true.
Yeah, so
he made that terrible movie.
Apparently he originally planned on having Darth Maul be a bigger part in the sequel trilogy, and that was the whole point of putting him into the Clone Wars to show how he came back, and then he starts getting his criminal syndicate together, which would have then by the time that came around and the Empire fell apart, he was going to be the main antagonist with his criminal empire sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not like a galactic empire, but like criminal syndicate plus no empire, and they were going to apparently bring back Darth Talon, who was like that Twi'lek red tattooed Sith. Have you seen her before?
Maybe.
She's like got similar tattoos to Maul, but not the same.
Okay.
And she's like a Twi'lek, which is going to be his apprentice.
Okay.
Sort of thing, because at this point he'd be old as fuck.
Yeah, he'd be like 150 years old or some shit, right?
I don't know, but it wasn't going to be 30 years later.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sort of thing. Like that. Apparently, this set of movies was gonna span decades. So the first movie was gonna be like not so long after episode 6, but then the second movie would have probably been later, and that's when I guess Luke and that would have come into it.
That's what the Dune series does. I think the second book is set like 10 years after the first book. Then the third book is set 5 years after that. And then the fourth book is set like 3,500 years after that.
3,000. Okay, it wouldn't have spent that far. But I thought it was an interesting concept. I mean, George Lucas is probably just pumping shit out his ass at this point, but I mean, that would have been a cool, instead of Sidious being behind everything.
I mean, yeah, and a cohesive idea would have been better than the sequel trilogy that we got, which was not a cohesive idea. It was 3 fucking random ideas sellotaped together and rolled up into a ball and thrown in our face for $35.
Because they thought Star Wars fans are idiots, they'll watch anything.
I don't know what the fuck they thought. I honestly don't know how you could
I thought that's what they thought, that there's no way they could fuck this up.
Yeah.
And they fucked it up.
Well, I think what they did, right, is they looked at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has this really tight schedule of movie. So initially they sat down and they said, well, we need to hit a movie every 2 years, and in between that one of the side things, and then they didn't plan anything and they just kind of rolled with the schedule.
If they had have actually, instead of playing it safe and going with Rogue One, playing it safe and going with fucking Solo, if they had have just invested in creating other main characters randomly in the Star Wars universe, it could have become a universe like that. But they didn't. They was like, hey, instead of Like Marvel, think about how many superheroes Marvel has. They can do a movie every year and have it be completely different. It
Yeah.
doesn't work like that in Star Wars because you haven't created that.
Yeah, we need to create that.
Exactly, they could have done that instead of doing fucking Rogue One and Solo.
Fucking Solo.
Fucking do a planet on the slums of Coruscant. What's
Yeah,
going on
yeah.
down there? Do a fucking planet in the Outer Rim. You know, do a planet from the fucking Old Republic era.
Move away from the
Do
original
a TV
trilogy.
series like
The Mandalorian.
Remember how years ago when we were in school they were talking about a live action Star Wars series?
I do. It was,
And it's like, it's never gonna fucking happen.
and it never happened.
It's fucking...
And we're not here talking about it.
But it's happened, and it's just not what I expected. It's better.
I mean, I
I was
don't
expecting it to
know.
be about Jedi and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's all Star Wars was back then.
That's fair. And yeah, they're making that, fucking Old Republic thing about...
High Republic.
High Republic about Jedis and whatnot. But I mean, at this point in time, I'm just so happy and refreshed that there is good Star Wars.
I know, but what about... This is going to be a trilogy. Imagine if it's shit. Another 3 movies. I only get 3 good reviews.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here. I enjoy talking about Star Wars, for good or bad.
Yeah, same boat. I enjoy it.
At a certain point, you do kind of get like,
But it comes to a point where like you enjoy how much you're hating on it.
yeah. Point of the story is evolution.
Anyway, yeah, this isn't even The Mandalorian anymore.
No.
But yeah, it was a good episode.
Star Wars is an interesting world which we can discuss at length for good or bad moving forward.
Yes, we can.
And we'll be here. I hope you'll all be here.
I hope so too.
Thank you. And good night.
We didn't even give a fucking overall...
It was good!
Okay. Bye!
That was magical.